Okay, so now that we've perfected our use of image maps, we're going to create a project that contains some image maps and helps us to show how those images really can be helpful to link between pages. So here it says, in the programming assignment, you will develop a series of web pages with image maps. You will develop a home page with an image map and at least 2 other pages with image maps, so a total of 3. And you will use tables, text links, etc. to help you make your website better. So just like you've done in the past, you want to start with some comments at the very, very top so I know who that project belongs to. And then you also should have this comment on each page as well, just telling me the purpose of each page. So this is the home page for my United States website. This is the Oregon page for my website, etc., etc. Then just like normal, you need to print off a hard copy of all of those pages and make sure you save everything correctly into the shared drive. And just an extra point here, there's going to be a lot of files. You're going to have about 9 web pages along with images and things like that. I would suggest you make a folder for everything in this project and then just copy the folder over. It'll save you from losing any files. So if you scroll down, it says you will develop a home page to provide users with information about various U.S. states and cities within them. The home page will contain an image map with links to pages about 2 states. You may select the 2 states you would like to focus on, and then these 2 state pages will each link to 3 other web pages that give information about 3 cities within the state. So if you look very, very closely here, you start off with your home page of the U.S. map, which you can see these 2 students had here. Then you're linking further. So you pick 2 states. In this case, they picked Oregon and Vermont. So they have an image map as well as text links. You click on Oregon, it goes to the Oregon page, and you can see from there it will extend to 3 cities. Then if I go back to the home page, again, you'll see that if I go to Vermont, I again have 3 more cities on my Vermont page, and I can expand further to go to those pages as well. So that's kind of the basic setup here. You have your home page, it splits into 2 state pages, and then the state page splits into 3 cities. So a total of 9 pages that you will be creating for this website. Then to give you a little breakdown of the requirements for each page, your geography homepage, make sure you give it a title, something that's creative and associates the page with you. Then include a short paragraph indicating the purpose of the page and the site. Then I want you to include an image of the United States. Now, you'll notice here that these students selected their own image. So I do have a US map image on my classroom website for you to use, but if you decide you'd like to use another image that you find, that's perfectly fine. Just make sure that it has some clearly defined regions for the states so you can clearly see where those states begin and those states end. So make sure that if you have an image map that it's something like this where it's very clear, right here is the state of Oregon, right here is the state of Vermont. You can see where those are in clearly defined regions. On the image that you select, whether it's my image or another image that you pick, you will create an image map for the 2 states you selected. So here we have Oregon and Vermont. You can click on Oregon, and you can also click on Vermont. Notice how I'm clicking right on the image. You need to determine the necessary coordinates for that hotspot and code the map into your homepage. You will most likely need to use the polygon shape. So I'm going to ask you to go a little bit above and beyond and challenge yourself a little bit. Do not just pick a square state, 2 of them. I want you to challenge yourself. Make it a little more challenging. Pick something with a polygon so you can practice using that polygon shape as well. The other thing I want you to include on this homepage here is to include text links for the state assigned for your groups, or the state that you picked, to use. So here you'll notice that we have Oregon and Vermont. So if you pick 2 states, I also want to see text links down here on your homepage just in case something happens and your image does not load. Then from here, you're going to create 2 state pages with the same requirement. So here I have my Oregon page as well as my Vermont page. So you want to give it a title, and then you're going to include some information about that state, and you're going to pick 3 fun facts that you can find about that state, 3 pieces of information, and you'll have 1 sentence just for each bullet point. So you can see there are 3 pieces of information here. Then you're going to include an image of the state. Now you can pick whatever image you'd like. You can also create your own if you choose to do so. That is perfectly fine. So here you're going to have an image of the state, and that state needs to have 3 of the cities in that state on it. So you'll notice that I have 3 cities here and 3 cities here. Now, something I'd also like you to notice, that for each of these pictures, you'll notice it says I'd like it horizontally centered on the page. You'll notice all of these pictures I have are horizontally centered on my page to make it look Nice. So you pick an image of your state. It needs to have 3 of those cities on it. And then you need to determine the coordinates necessary to create a hotspot for those 3 cities. And then, as you'll note down here, you also want to include text links for those cities to work with your image map. And then, and this is something that's kind of hidden in here, for don't forget this, you also want a text link that's going to go back to your homepage. So you'll notice this group went a little above and beyond. They have both states and the homepage, but make sure you can pop back to the homepage from the Oregon page if you choose to do so. So here's your Oregon state page meeting the requirements there, and the Vermont page or whatever other state you pick would have the same requirements. Then finally, it says create 3 city web pages for each of the assigned states. So here we have the 3 cities. If I click on Portland, I go to a page just about Portland. So again, you want to give it a title. You then also want to include a bulleted list with 3 pieces of info. So here you can see the 3 fun facts about Portland. And then you want to include text links back to the state page and back to the home page. You can see those down here. We're going back to Oregon and back to home. And you should be able to manipulate between those pretty quickly, get to all 9 pages pretty effortlessly. Couple of general notes is that there are many web pages in this site. Be sure everything has a consistent look. You can see we have similar backgrounds, we have similar color schemes, similar fonts. It needs to have a similar look to it because it is a website. They should be corresponding to each other. Then it says grading for this project will include having all of the above requirements, having content appropriate to this class, and having an attractive design to your web pages. This means you must format. We've talked a lot about formatting. We've learned a lot about formatting. So make sure that you're using formatting. You will not get full credit if you're not formatting your text, formatting your images, formatting everything to have a consistent, nice, professional look to it. So if you have questions once you get started, please let me know. Otherwise, you can get started, begin picking your states and finding your fun facts about them so you can create your 9 pages.